The stale air of Cleveland hung heavy as I scrolled through Genevieve's Instagram. Vegas, baby, her caption screamed, plastered beneath a photo of her and three of her girlfriends clinking champagne glasses. Genevieve had been so excited about this trip, a much-needed break, she called it. Barnaby, a 46-year-old IT specialist, encouraged her. Marriage to Genevieve had been the best part of my life for the last 15 years. I wanted her to be happy. I just never imagined her happiness would come at my expense. For weeks leading up to the trip, she'd been distant. Late nights at work, she claimed. Less affection, I chalked it up to stress. Now, staring at the photos, a knot tightened in my stomach. It wasn't just the Vegas click, it was the forced smiles, the way she seemed to avoid direct eye contact with the camera, a subtle unease I couldn't shake off. I loved Genevieve more than anything. I was a loyal husband. I never gave her a reason to distrust me. I was always there for her through thick and thin. So why did I feel like something was terribly wrong? I tried to dismiss it. Maybe I was just being paranoid. Maybe I missed her too much. But the feeling lingered, a persistent itch at the back of my mind. Then came the phone call. It was 3 days after she returned. I was hunched over my computer, battling a particularly nasty piece of code when my phone buzzed. An unknown number, hello. I answered, a little distracted. A woman's voice, hesitant, crackled through the speaker. "Is this Barnaby?" Barnaby Klein speaking. "Who is this?" "My name is Bethany. I don't know how to say this. I was in Vegas last week. I saw your wife with someone else." The world tilted. My grip on the phone tightened. What are you talking about?" Bethany stammered. I don't know them personally. But I saw them at the hotel bar, the one in the Bellagio. They were very close, holding hands, kissing. Was definitely more than just friends. My breath hitched. "You're sure it was her?" "Positive. I saw her Instagram post. It was definitely your wife." Silence. Deafening, agonizing silence. I couldn't process it. Genevieve cheating? It was impossible. She wouldn't do that. Would she? "Why are you telling me this?" I finally managed to ask, my voice barely a whisper. I've been cheated on before," Bethany confessed. "I know how much it hurts." I couldn't just stay silent. I thanked her numbly and hung up. The code on my screen swam before my eyes, meaningless gibberish. I felt like I'd been sucker punched, the wind knocked out of me. Genevieve, my Genevieve, the woman I'd built my life with, had betrayed me. I spent the next few hours in a daze, replaying every moment of our marriage, searching for clues I'd missed, signs I'd ignored. Had I been blind? Had I been so caught up in my own world that I hadn't noticed her drifting away? The anger started slowly, a low simmer in my gut. It grew with each passing minute, fueled by disbelief, hurt, and a burning sense of injustice. How could she do this to me? How could she throw away everything we had for a fleeting moment of what? Lust, excitement. I didn't understand. By the time Genevieve came home, I was a volcano ready to erupt. She walked in, radiant, tanned, and smelling faintly of perfume, a smile plastered on her face. "Hey, honey, I missed you so much," she chirped, rushing to hug me. I recoiled. "Don't touch me." Her smile faltered. "What's wrong?" I stared at her, my eyes burning with unshed tears. "I know about Vegas." Genevieve, her face paled. The color drained from her cheeks, leaving her looking gaunt and vulnerable. What are you talking about?" "Don't play dumb. I know about the other man." She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. She just stood there, frozen like a deer caught in headlights. "Who is he, Genevieve?" I demanded, my voice trembling with rage. "Who is he, and how long has this been going on?" She finally found her voice, a shaky whisper. It was just a mistake, Barnaby, a moment of weakness. It didn't mean anything." "A mistake?" I roared. "Kissing, holding hands, carrying on like a couple is a mistake. You think I'm stupid?" Tears streamed down her face. "I'm so sorry, Barnaby. I swear it won't happen again. Please forgive me." Forgive her? After what she'd done? After the pain she'd inflicted? I couldn't. Not yet, maybe not ever. "Who is he?" I repeated, my voice low and dangerous. She hesitated, then mumbled, "His name is Quentin. He's a colleague from work." Quentin. The name tasted like poison in my mouth. I vaguely remembered Genevieve mentioning him, a charming new hire in her marketing department. I should have seen the signs. I should have known. "How long, Genevieve?" I pressed. "How long has this been going on?" She sobbed. Just a few weeks. It started before the trip. I was going to end it, I swear." But then Vegas happened. A few weeks. A few weeks of lies, deception, and betrayal. A few weeks of me being a fool, trusting her, loving her while she was sneaking around with another man. I couldn't stand to look at her. The sight of her tears, her remorse, didn't move me. All I felt was disgust. "Get out," I said, my voice cold and hard. "Get out of my house, Barnaby, please," she begged, reaching for me. "Don't do this. We can work through this. I love you, love me," I scoffed. "If you loved me, you wouldn't have done this. You wouldn't have betrayed me," I pointed to the door. "Get out, Genevieve. I don't want to see you again." She left, sobbing, a broken woman, but my heart remained untouched. All I felt was emptiness, a hollow ache where love used to be. The next few days were a blur of lawyers, paperwork, and tearful phone calls from Genevieve begging for another chance. I refused to speak to her. I couldn't bear to hear her voice. The betrayal was too deep, the wound too fresh. I learned more about Quentin. He was younger, flashier, everything I wasn't. He drove a sports car, wore expensive suits, and had a reputation for being a ladies' man. He was exactly the kind of guy Genevieve always claimed to despise. I also learned that their affair wasn't just a moment of weakness. It was a full-blown relationship, complete with secret rendezvous, romantic dinners, and whispered promises. The thought of them together, laughing, touching, sharing intimate moments made my skin crawl. The divorce was swift and brutal. Genevieve contested it at first, clinging to the hope of reconciliation. But I was adamant. I wanted her out of my life, gone forever. As the dust settled, I was left with a broken heart, a shattered sense of trust, and a deep-seated anger that threatened to consume me. I knew I couldn't let it. I had to find a way to move on, to heal, to rebuild my life. I started with therapy. Talking to someone helped me process my emotions, understand my pain, and develop coping mechanisms. I also reconnected with old friends, spent time with my family, and rediscovered hobbies I'd neglected during my marriage. Slowly, painstakingly, I began to heal. The anger subsided, replaced by a quiet sadness. The emptiness filled with a sense of purpose, a determination to create a better life for myself. But the thought of Quentin still gnawed at me. He had stolen something precious from me, something irreplaceable, and I couldn't let him get away with it. I decided to pay him a visit. I found his address online, a trendy apartment complex in a gentrified neighborhood. I drove there one evening, my heart pounding in my chest. I waited for him in the lobby, watching the residents come and go. Finally, he appeared, Quentin, the man who had destroyed my marriage. He was even more arrogant looking in person, with his slick-back hair, designer clothes, and self-satisfied smirk. I approached him, my hands clenched into fists. "Quentin," he turned, his eyes widening in surprise. "Do I know you? I'm Barnaby Klein," I said, my voice low and menacing. "Genevieve's husband, ex-husband." His smirk vanished. He paled, just like Genevieve had. "Oh," he said, his voice barely audible. "I didn't know she was married. Don't give me that," I snarled. "You knew exactly what you were doing. You knew she was married and you didn't care. You slept with her anyway," he stammered. "It had just happened. We couldn't help ourselves. You couldn't help yourselves," I repeated, my voice rising. "You destroyed my marriage. You ruined my life." I wanted to hit him, to punch him in the face, to inflict the same pain he had inflicted on me. But I restrained myself. Violence wouldn't solve anything. It would only make me feel worse. Instead, I took a deep breath and said, "I'm not going to hurt you, Quentin, but I want you to know what you've done. You've hurt a lot of people. You've destroyed a family, and you'll have to live with that for the rest of your life." I turned and walked away, leaving him standing there, speechless, his face etched with guilt and shame. I didn't feel any satisfaction, no sense of closure, but I knew I had done the right thing. I had confronted him, held him accountable for his actions, and walked away with my dignity intact. Months passed. I continued to heal, to rebuild my life. I focused on my career, my hobbies, my friendships. I even started dating again, cautiously, tentatively. It was scary, putting myself out there again, risking being hurt again. But I knew I couldn't let fear control me. One day, I received an email from Genevieve. I almost deleted it, but something compelled me to open it. "Barnaby," she wrote, "I know you probably never want to hear from me again, but I wanted to let you know that Quentin and I broke up." My heart skipped a beat. "He left me for someone else," she continued. "Someone younger, prettier, richer. He used me, Barnaby, just like he used you." I felt a pang of sympathy for her, a flicker of the old love, but it quickly faded, replaced by a sense of vindication. "Karma, perhaps. I'm so sorry for everything I did," she wrote. "I know I can never make it up to you, but I hope someday you can forgive me." I didn't reply. I didn't know if I could ever forgive her, but I knew I had moved on. I had found my own happiness, my own peace. And that was all that mattered. I closed the email, took a deep breath, and smiled. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the future was full of possibilities. I was free, finally free from the pain of the past, and I was ready to embrace the future, whatever it may hold. Sometimes the greatest revenge is simply moving on and living a happy, fulfilling life. And that's exactly what I intended to do. I walked out onto my balcony, the Cleveland skyline stretching out before me. There was a whole world out there, waiting to be explored. And I, Barnaby Klein, was ready to explore it.